Hello and welcome back to Final Fantasy Tactics. Today we're going to be starting with the Enavia Chronicles, an account of Coos Castle in the region of Enavia documenting the story of three sisters. Sections of importance are penned in an ancient script now indecipherable. Let's go. From the records at Coos Castle, Enavia. Chapter 8. The Seventh Liege Lord Albert Cien and the Portrait of a Family. Verse 7. Lutia, third daughter of Lord Albert Cien. The courtyard at Coos Castle. Three young women, all daughters of Castellan Albert, finished their morning studies and stepped into the garden. Maria was the eldest at 17. I am bade to play the harp in the next concert. I'm terribly nervous. What if I make a fool of myself? Alicia was the second eldest at 16. Possessed of a wild disposition, she did not take near enough care for her words. You will be fine, sister. Goodness knows you have confidence to spare. And then there was Lutia, the youngest at the tender age of 13. There'll be so many people in attendance. Makes me nervous just thinking about it. However, Lutia's mind was preoccupied with other matters. Baron, no, off the lawn. The master will have my head if he catches you. I would die a dog's death if I were thrown out. Kurt Grohl, a boy of 14 and son to Edmund the groundskeeper. He and Lutia shared naught between them save the impenetrable wall of class and birth. Yet when Lutia thought of him, her pulse quickened. Gods, my heart, never have I felt such excitement, such elation. My heart is beating at least 100 times faster now than it did during my first dance with Leaf, I swear it. Why? Why is it beating 200 times faster, I declare? What if it were to beat 300 times, no, 1,000 times faster? And with this, we have our goal for the Enavia Chronicles. So our goal is to get above 1,000 points, or 1,000 beatings of the heart, I guess. It's kind of a little bit weird, but anyway, that is our goal. Oh, sweet Kurt, my light, my darling. What have we done to deserve our birth? Why must you be a humble gardener and I a noble? Why do the stars torture us so? Oh, how wretched. Who let that filthy hound into the courtyard? Alicia, ever in a foul temperament, cried aloud. But it was Maria who soothed her, as she was wont to do. That's awfully unkind of you, Alicia. What is a dog or a few birds in the garden? How Lutia loved her gentle sister Maria. Calling Baron filthy, Alicia can be downright cruel at times. I'm sick of it. Sick to death of all of it. I'm a prisoner in my own life, it feels. How I long to be free, to be with Kurt, to spend our days tending to flowers. But such thoughts were mere fantasies meant to remain locked in her head. Father has promised me to another. How can I ever explain this to my betrothed? Okay, so the way that this works is that you will get random events in their story. Each random event has a number of outcomes, and these number of outcomes lead to a number of points. What our goal is to get to 1,000 points. However, there are a few problems along the way. The first one is, if we get above 800 points, we fail, which is obviously not good. So we're going to try and avoid that. The second is there are some events which can trigger Father. Now, if Father is triggered, we lose 20 points. However, Father will only ever trigger once. And if you choose an event that will trigger Father, it will guaranteed trigger him. So we can effectively lower the points value by 20 whenever we want if we choose certain options. The next thing to note is that there are only 2 events which can actually give you more than 200 points. This is very important, as if we want to get from below 800 to above 1,000, you need to get more than 200 points. The first one is called Hat Witless. It's a random event. It can get you 230 points. However, We don't really have any control over that one, at least from the guide that I'm reading. The guide that I'm reading is from Tasty Pie, and they have prefixed it by saying that they have made some rules based on observations, but it is not necessarily a full guide. This one is by far the one I found the least information on. I had to go through Reddit threads to find this thing, so yeah, apologies if it's not quite right, but we're working with the best that we can here, and at least it gives us a rough idea of what we're doing, so even if it's not right, we can adjust. So yeah, Hat Witless, nothing we can do with that one. We would need to be above 770 points. It's basically our backup option. Our main option is an event called Herb Garden. Now, Herb Garden is a 300 point jump. So, if we can get above 700 points, we're great, we're fantastic. We just sit there until we get the Herb Garden event, we've already won. The problem is that, although that sounds easy, Herb Garden will trigger if you were in the high 600s. So, what we want to do is we want to jump from low 600 point values to the 700 point values, and then we can jump to the 1000 points. Hopefully that all makes sense. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look to my list of outcomes and see what we got here. So we have Dog Promise to Another. So this is the event we're on. We are going to choose Think Things Over. Okay. Lucia marvelled at the way shared blood divided rather than bonded her and her sister. They were born of the same parents, had the same tutors, same upbringing, yet no two people could be more different. That is, unless... Okay, so we have two options here. This is the end of the event chain. The first option should get us 1 point, which is obviously not going to get us to 1000 very quickly. The second one will get us 53 points. So, I was adopted. What if I were secretly lowborn, she mused. What if one day my real parents visit? How they would thank mother and father for all they had done for me, but then they would fall upon their knees begging for their daughter to be returned to them. Lucia's musings did not stop there. My lady mother would beg me to remain at the castle, but I would have none of it. For this peasant girl has dreams that noble blood could never achieve. She smiled to herself, reveling in the fantasy, but shook it from her thoughts soon enough. Lucia, a girl of 13, was another day in the summer of her life. What a day it has been, Lucia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have me do? I long to be with you, but you feel as if a million leagues away. I fear one day my heart will shatter. There we go, we got our 53 points. Guide is on point so far. The sun will rise and it will set, but no amount of days can ford the divide between us. Have I only to pray? To hope that the heavens in all their cruelty heed my humble plea? Oh, Kurt, can you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow? And now we're on to the next event. The courtyard was as it was on any given day. Nary a thing different, not even its visitors. There was Maria, Alicia, and Lucia. Now where did Lucia run off to? Is it just me, or has she been acting strangely of late? It's not just you. She has turned her hand to gardening of all things. In a corner of the courtyard, Lucia sat alone, tending to a quaint bed of flowers. Ah, at last. It's starting to look like a proper garden. I wonder what Kurt will say when he sees it. It was Alicia's cry that broke Lucia's concentration. Lucia, what are you doing there? Hurry up or you'll be late for your studies. Lucia rose from her flower bed. Coming, sister. I will see you tomorrow, my flowers. No sooner had Lucia stood than she spotted Kurt from across the garden. Her pulse leapt, her mouth dried, and she froze on the spot. Kurt, however, paid her not so much as a passing glance as he disappeared into his shed and out of sight. Lucia was beset with nerves. Should I show him the flowers? They are not in such sorry shape, are they? I did this all for him, after all. If he doesn't at least see them, my efforts will be all for naught. Okay, so this one is Gardening studies. Okay, so gardening studies is a one-option thing, so there's not multiple lines. So we can call for him, which is 130. We can remain quiet for 22, or we can examine the flowers for 42. We are, of course, going to call for him because 130 sounds fantastic right now. We're nowhere near any of our like major values, so let's do it. What am I doing? She asked herself. I can't possibly speak to him, not now. I must calm myself. Only then should I approach him. Do not leave yet, Kurt. Pray remain until I open my eyes again. Lucia, a girl of 13, was another day in the summer of her life. What a day it has been, Lucia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have me do? I long to be with you, but you feel as if a million leagues away. I fear one day my heart will shatter. So this is going to be the same each time, I reckon, so we can just skip. And there we go, we got our 130 points. Oh, this is new. Tell me, Kurt, do you find my excitement odd? This growing love for you, it frightens me. Though not half as much as father does. He would take you from me if he were to discover us. My heart simply must beat 1,000 times faster if we were to see a happy ending. Oh, my prince, when will I be able to hold you in my arms, listen to your honeyed voice and share in your stories? I can only pray such a day is not far off. The courtyard was, as it was on any given day, nearly a thing different, not even its visitors. Okay, so this is going to be the same thing each time. Alicia, get down from there this instant. You are too ill to be doing anything half so dangerous. Alicia, however, would not listen, for she was 16 and loved nothing more than to climb. Dangerous, this? It's a tree, not a sword. Oh gods, I can't bear to watch. However, Lucia, for all her concern, had her eyes upon another. You've had your fun, now come down. You know I'll be blamed for this if you're caught. Oh, that was Kurt, actually. You've had your fun, now come down. You know I'll be blamed for this if you're caught. It was Kurt who chastised Alicia now. He was a servant boy of 14, son to the groundskeeper Edmund. Kurt, shouted Alicia. Kurt Grohl. I need you. Hold me by the hips, will you? What's a question I want to ask so casually? By the... What? How vulgar. Oh, that was Maria, actually. Maria, ever the lady, gasped at such talk. Confining though this life was, one thing was certain. There was never a dull day to be had. Lucia nigh blushed at the words. What a thing to say, she thought. I hope Kurt pays such ribald orders no mind. We've had our fun, but we must stop. What if father were to overhear this? Okay, so this one is... Tree's hips. Okay, so... we are going to choose the third one, Panic and Shout, which should be 76 points. Lucia was nigh paralysed by her panic. Her face fell into her palms as Kurt, after suffering a firm upbraiding, assisted Alicia up the tree. I pray father scolds you within an inch of your life, she silently hoped again and again, as if repetition would make it come true. Lucia, a girl of 13, her heart yet a flower bulb, hidden beneath the soil, eager to bloom. These were still the early days of summer. What a day it has been. Okay, so these are the same as previously. Let's see if the next page is the same. The sun will rise and it will set, but no amount of days can ford the divide between us. Have I only to pray, to hope that the heavens in all their cruelty heed my humble plea? Oh, Kurt, can you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow? And then we get this, the courtyard is the same as on any other day. There's the same three people. And who is saying this? Lovely weather, wouldn't you agree? Hard to believe such a thick fog was here this morning. You certainly are an early riser. I wasn't even aware that it was anything but sunny today. It was foggy, goodness, one misses so much of the world when abed. Huh? Lucia released a gasp as a gust of wind tore the hat from her head. The accessory sailed through the birch trees until it was gone from sight and lost to the forest. You're an utter dullard, you know that? Alicia spat at her youngest sister before taking off running after the hat. Alicia, no, you mustn't run. You've only just recovered. Alicia ground to a halt and turned back to Lutia. It flew in the direction of Heath's Haven. Let's chase it down together, shall we? Okay, so this is Hat and Heath's Haven. So, we have 3 options here, but one of the options is interesting because we're going to do it, even though it's not ideal. So the first one is so long as we walk. So this one gives us 71 points. However, it will trigger Father, which means this one only gives us 51 points. The second one will give us 5 points. The third one will give us 60. So the third one would give us the most points, but I want to trigger Father so that Father trigger is already done, if that makes sense. We don't have to worry about it. So, let's do this one. So long as we walk. Oh, stop it. Can't you see I am walking, or are you blind as you are foolish? Alicia and Lutia bickered as they walked, until they reached Heath's Haven, that is, where Alicia broke into a run. I simply adore it here. Look there, it's Larkspur. Oh, and there is Gazania. The allure of flowers proved too powerful, and soon Alicia had quite given up on locating her sister's lost article of clothing. Lutia took a seat on a nearby bench. After a time, a boy carrying Lutia's missing hat appeared, and she felt a flutter in her stomach. It was Kurt. Lutia's heart launched into her throat and began to pound so ferociously she feared all the world could hear it. She cast her eyes away. Before long, Alicia returned with the hat, and Kurt was gone. The amount of relief that swelled in Lutia made her feel pathetic. Lutia, a girl of 13, her heart yet a flower bulb, hidden beneath the soil eager to bloom, these were still the early days of summer. What a day it has been, Lucia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have me do? I long to be with you, but you feel as if a million leagues away. I fear one day soon my heart will shatter. The sun will rise and it will set, but no amount of days can ford the divide between us. Have I only to pray, to hope to the heavens that in all their cruelty heed my humble plea? Oh, Kurt, can you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow? The courtyard was, as it was on any given day, nary a thing different, not even its visitors. So I guess we didn't get the father knocking event? Unless this is about to happen. Now where did Lutia run off to? Is it just me, or has she been acting strangely of late? It's not just you. She's turned her hand to gardening of all things. Oh, we're getting another gardening event. Okay. In the corner of the courtyard, Lutia sat alone tending to a quaint bed of flowers. Ah, at last. It's starting to look like a proper garden. I wonder what Kurt will say when he sees it. Mistress Lutia. Ah, so it is. Oh, Edmund. Good day to you. Begging your pardon, I didn't mean to startle you. A mistress? Might I inquire what that is there? Oh, this. Well, it's just a wee flower bed. A pet project of mine, you see. Edmund was at a loss for words, surprise clear in his wide eyes. You have been tending to them? Truly? Yes, truly. What do you make of them? The seasoned gardener gave the flowers and the soil a long look over. These are fine plants, to be sure, but you must let me and my son handle such work. I would not have your hands dirtied. Ooh, okay. So this is gardening Edmund. Okay. So gardening Edmund, the best one that we can get is 45. So I'm going to say, well, if Kurt will tend to them. Well, I suppose if... Kurt's name stuck in her throat. I meant no offence. As groundskeeper, it's an honour to see your ladyship take care of such humble flowers. Edmund was quick to rephrase his words after he saw Lutia's eyes tinge a sombre note. Edmund, mindful of the girl, lectured her well on the ins and outs of gardening. Alas, Edmund neglected to tidy away his work tools, which remained in disarray in the middle of the garden, an oversight for which he would later be severely reprimanded. Lutia was oblivious to the scolding. For her, the early afternoon was one of bliss. Lucia, girl of 13, her heart yet a flower bulb, hidden beneath the soil, eager to bloom. These were still the early days of summer. What a day it has been. Okay, so this will be the same thing as previous, which is fine. It all seems the same. The sun will rise and it will set, but no amount of days can ford the divide between us. Yeah, we've seen this one as well. So 575. Now is the point where we have to start thinking. Ideally, we want to end up like, I want to say like 6:30. That would be perfect for us, but we'll see. Oh, Kurt, can you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow? The courtyard was, as it was on any given day, nary a thing different, not even its visitors. Yes. A foul mood was upon Alicia today. Why are you making that face, Alicia? You look positively bizarre. What's it to do with you? Leave me be. Maria and Lucia fell silent, their sister's unpleasantness grown infectious. That father of ours promised to take me to the theatre tonight, but he cancelled. Again? Alicia was nothing if not direct. Lucia found herself jealous. Father had never made her a promise like that. Understand your frustration, I do, but the truth of the matter is, try as Maria might to explain the situation their house was in, Alicia would have none of it. I beg Father not to break his promises, but what does he do every time? He shatters my hopes. Lucia could put up with such selfishness for only so long. She had to say something. Never once has he promised me anything. And whose fault is that? You're too quiet for your own good. Alicia's unfeeling words were salt in the wound for poor Lucia. Nascent tears formed in Lucia's eyes. Okay. So, this is theatre selfish. So theatre selfish, we can go for the third option, which is I wish I could go with Kurt. This is 63 points. That I think will be perfect, actually. That gets us roughly exactly where I wanted to be. It would be nice to go with Kurt. It was not intention to say that aloud, but the words came unbidden all the same. If you wish to see Kurt, you need only go to him. You are of a similar age, no doubt he would welcome the company. Maria offered, her words carefully chosen. You've been buried in your studies of late. You need time away. Let us speak with Father. Perhaps he'll allow Kurt to join you for an outing or two. There was a stiffness to her sister's voice. Heat crawled up Lucia's neck, reddening her cheeks. That is quite unnecessary. Lucia, a girl of 13, her heart yet a flower bulb, hidden beneath the soil, eager to bloom. These were still the early days of summer. What a day it has been. Yep. So we get the what a day it has been talk again. And we get our points. Ooh. Okay. So this one was not one that said that it should be a father trigger, but I guess it was. A knock preceded Albert's voice. Still awake, child. Off to bed with you. I hear you are often late to your afternoon studies. The time for play is done. Now sleep. Yes, Father. Good night, Lucia cried, settling down for bed. Could it be he's privy to my secret? Gods, I hope not. He would never forgive me. Okay, so we're looking for a 100-point event here. Okay. I don't know if there's a good one, but let's see. Me, playing the harp at a ball. Can you believe it? I most certainly can. Where you are all grace and cleverness, I am not but a tomboy. All I can do is climb a tree. The two sisters shared a chuckle. Beside them, Lucia watched the clouds meander across the sky. Baron, stop, I say. For a stray pup, you become quite the hound. The dog, who was in Kurt's care, came bounding across the yard to greet the girls. Ugh, that boy has brought his mangy dog into the courtyard again. I'm telling Father. Alicia was in a foul mood today. Sister, please. The dog has done nothing wrong. You're so quick to lose your temper. Oh, can't Alicia just leave us in peace? Lutia prayed secretly. This is as much Kurt's garden as it is hers. Lutia hoped that he knew she was not at all like her sister. She would never rant and rave so. Okay, so this is a dog event. So this is Dog Kurt. So... Ooh, so this one's where we get into an interesting territory. So, our point values are, if we choose 1, we get 3 options, which are 40, 46, and 53. If we choose 2, our options are both 34, so both options will lead to 34 from here. If we choose 3, then we're going to end up with 63. Now, the problem is that if we end up in the high 600s, we're going to get the herb event early. So I think we want to go for Confess for 34 and hope that that doesn't count as the high 600s. So I'm going to confess to Maria. Maria, there's something I must say. What is it, sister? You look upset. I care deeply for someone. Well, if you must know, I would like to learn the harp. Will you teach me? How good of you to be so studious. Very well. Visit my room after classes this afternoon. More lies Lutia spun, the more she lost sight of her own heart. Lutia, a girl of 13. Okay. So, let's see where this one goes. If it doesn't trigger Herb Garden, though, we're in a great spot. We are in a fantastic spot. Okay, so, we get the Kurt event. But if we end up, like, you know... Yeah, if we end up just above 650, that would be perfect. And... Oh, but I'm done with this fantasy. I see my duty to my family clear as day. I've lived my life with eyes closed, but now I must recognize my world for what it is. I'll banish you from my heart, Kurt. Only, allow me a moment longer to love you. Is that the end of the story? Did we get a... No, okay. Okay, that's fine. I was worried that we had reached the end, but we had just got another event trigger. Now, where did Lutia run off to? Is it just me, or has she been acting strangely of late? It's not just you. She has turned her hand to gardening, of all things. So, I don't think this is gonna be herb garden. I think this should be gardening avoiding, which will be perfect. Okay, let's see. In a corner of the courtyard, Lutia sat alone, tending to a quaint bed of flowers. Ah, at last. It's starting to look like a proper garden. Wonder what Kurt will say when he sees it. Don't you get the sense that she's avoiding us? And what of it? She's been this way for as long as I can remember. While Maria worried, Alicia shrugged. Yes, perhaps it's all in my head. It's just so hard to tell with that girl. Oh, were that I were never born noble. How simple life would be if I had been a gardener's daughter. A eureka moment suddenly came upon her. Of course, it's so marvellously simple. Why didn't I think of it sooner? The plan was simple indeed. Foolishly so, in fact. I'll run away for a time, and when I return to the castle dirty and unrefined, I'll apply to be a groundskeeper. Okay, so... on this one, we can get one that gives us 147. Now, 147 would put us at 799, which seems good, except for if we don't get Herb Garden or Hat Witless, we cannot get to 1,000, but we will probably have to go up in points. So that's not ideal, unless we get an event that also goes down in points. So we actually want to go for a more conservative one here. We want to go for a good number of points, but not a really high number of points. So, I think, just looking what my options are here, that one is here. So I think I want to go with excellent plan, I can do this, which should be 71. Yeah, I think this is what I want to go for. So I'll put us into the low 700s, which is about where we want to be. Excellent plan, I can do this. The kitchens ought to have fresh baked bread. I will take some loaves. As for cloves, well, I certainly can't entrust Helena with the packing. I will handle that myself. But where is my trunk gone? No matter. I can carry at least 4 days' worth of cloves in my hands easily enough. For now I'll fetch some bread. Lucia, a girl of 13, was another day in the summer of her life. What a day it has been, Lucia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have me do? I long to be with you, but you feel as if a million leagues away. I fear one day soon my heart will shatter. The sun will rise and it will set, but no amount of days can ford the divide between us. Have I only to pray, to hope that the heavens in all their cruelty heed my humble plea? Oh, Kurt, and you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow. Okay, so we're hoping for Herb Garden here. If not, it's fine, but we're running out of events. Okay. So it was not to be all 3 sisters today. Only the youngest, Lucia, came. Alicia is taken to bed ill, and Maria is to stay with her until she is better. Alicia had been in poor health since her youth, and it was not uncommon for her to come down with a fever. I love my sisters, I do, but it's nice to have time to oneself too. Lucia set out wandering, lost to her musings. The birds chirped quick songs as if lamenting the highlands' short summers. Beside the pond and past the grove was a herb garden that served as an entrance to an expansive wildwood beyond. Father will notice soon, if he hasn't already, Lucia thought to herself anxiously. I must not draw attention to myself, I must be patient, as I'm sure I'll discover Kurt's feelings for me in time. But until then I will behave. Do you hear that? Self? Behave. Okay, so herb garden, let me see. This is the most important one. Oh my, there's so many outcomes to this one, like an absurd number of outcomes. So we want to end up with 300. So I want to go, but I love him so. Lucia found herself between Augur's Pond and the Lion's Pond. On the water's edge, an area called Heath's Haven provided shade and a place to sit. Not far from that was the shed where Edmund and his son kept their tools, and where they often took afternoon breaks. A gentle breeze wound through the trees, and birds sang a tranquil tune. So, we want to go to Edmund's shed, which will give us 300 points. I wonder what Edmund is doing. Not that I care much. Not that I much care. It's Kurt I wish to see. Lucia hurried for Edmund's cottage, where she crossed paths with the groundskeeper himself. Why, if it isn't Lady Lucia, what brings you to this neck of the woods, and on your own no less? My sister is taken ill, so I am on my own today. Poor thing, caught another fever, has she? Kurt's abed too, as it so happens. He is, at this time of day? I forced him out at the crack of dawn to see that Heath's Haven is cleaned. He's worn out by this hour every day. Lucia was just about to return to the castle when she stopped, turned and asked, Might I trouble you for some tea? Though no doubt perplexed by the favour, Edmund invited her into his humble shelter. She found Kurt asleep on a bench. Forgive me, milady, but I must ask that you keep your visit here a secret from those in the castle. Edmund returned to work, leaving Lucia alone with the sleeping Kurt. The young girl lost herself in fantasy as she buried her feet in the soil. Oh, mistress, you will ruin your fine clothes. Allow me to find you a proper seat. Kurt, it appeared, had woken up. Please, stay where you are. All my dresses end up stained in some manner or another eventually. I do not mind this, just as it is. Might I join you for tea? Never had such a simple question brought such joy. She nodded and the two sat together. They talked of this and that, neither one completely at ease. What do you speak of when you sup with your family? In truth, I don't do much speaking at all. Alicia does enough chatting for the both of us. Are there balls every night? No, thank heaven. Such things are fun, yes, but they are exhausting affairs. Not to mention lonely. Nobles certainly are odd. Oh, forgive me. I should not have said that. It's alright. I'm done with this life anyway. Done? How so? Is nobility something you can quit? Oh, I think I had the wrong voices, but anyway. An emptiness overtook Lutia then. She nibbled at her lips, struggling not to pout. Lutia brought her teacup to her lips and stared at Kurt over the brim. I love the smell of soil. It's comforting, no? There is but one scent that grants me comfort. It's sweet and beautiful like a flower in full bloom. With a hand upon the kettle, Kurt leaned forward, bringing his face to Lutia's. He fell silent, as did Lutia. The coming kiss hummed at her lips, but her excitement was snuffed out in a flash. Where would they live? How would they eat? Reality came crashing down around them. Kurt fell back into his seat, limp, and hugged his cup in both hands. Their hearts' love and unease warred. Lutia, a girl of 13, heart yet a flower bulb, hidden beneath the soil, eager to bloom. These were still the early days of summer. And now? What a day it has been, Lutia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have me do? I long to be with you, but you feel as if a million leagues away. I fear one day soon my heart will shatter. The sun will rise and it will set, but no amount of days can further divide between us. Have I only to pray, to hope that the heavens in all their cruelty heed my humble plea? Oh Kurt, can you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow? And... I woke to the sound of rain lashing against my window pane. The sky was black, having yet to yield to dawn. Not even birdsong could be heard. I stood before my closet in a mood that did not match the foulness of the weather. Kurt and I would be gone from here soon. Where would our story lead us? To work as farmhands on a ranch? Some backwater village's inn? Or perhaps this love would kill the both of us, leave us for dead in a ditch? Okay, so I'm just going to double check that there's nothing more to this. I think this is it. I believe we can choose what we like at this point. I think so. Okay. See this through, come hell or high water. Lutia clutched her bag tight to her chest, heart battering against her ribs. She shut the door behind her, hurried through the quiet castle halls, slipped out into the world beyond. She sucked in a breath, the cold air penetrating her throat and lungs. Raindrops began to fall, and Lutia lifted her bag above her to shield herself as best she could. Kurt would be awake by now, busy cleaning Heath's haven. She still had no idea what to say to him or how, but love, pure and honest, filled her from crown to heel. At length, Heath's haven came into view. There he was, just as Lutia had hoped. She raced to him, her breathing turning ragged. "Milady, what are you doing out here?" She did not stop running until she had thrown herself into his arms. "I do not wish to marry him, the man father chose for me." A shroud of hazy mist rose to hide them, providing the two a world all their own. Lutia wept and wept, much to Kurt's confusion. She struggled for the words to express herself, but all that came out were tears upon tears. Curtains of silvery fog hid the lovers from sight. It would not be long before the servants of the castle began their search for the missing girl. Lutia, at the tender age of 13, had at last found a voice with which to speak her heart, if only a little. This, dear readers, is where their story finds its end. What words did Kurt offer Lutia? What became of the star-crossed lovers? Perhaps it is not for us to know, as there is no more writ. The author wanted to leave us, and by extension Lutia and Kurt, on this one last beautiful note. Undoubtedly, the scribe did not wish to pen a tragedy. Theirs will be a path of thorns, of trials and tribulations, of revolutions large and small, of a sister's illness unhealing. But none of this is known, and not a page speaks more of it. And so ends this tale of love. And Here we have our principal players. There is Lutia Sign, me, heroine of this tale. My sweetheart Kurt Grohl. Next, my oldest sister Maria Sign, followed by my second sister Alicia Sign. There's my stern father Albert Sign, and Kurt's father, the groundskeeper Edmund Grohl. The minor players, Ramon Martin, who we didn't see, because we didn't get his event. And finally, Baron, the lovable dog. This is not the end, far from it. In fact, our journey has only just begun. I must dry my eyes, find courage where before only cowardice lay. I have to be strong for Kurt. We will survive this, I know it. Oh, we got more points. And there you have it. That is the end of the Enavia Chronicles. Yeah, I don't know. These were all weird. I think I like that this one had...
are the product of much sweat and toil.
I think that I like that this one had rules that we could follow, but it only had rules that we could follow because we were following a guide that gave us the rules and gave us the outcomes. I think doing this manually, as with all of these, would be just horribly infuriating. Because it takes so long to do. I mean, that one with a guide took like 40 minutes to do, which is incredibly long for what it is. I think my problem mainly is that you can't skip the dialogue. If you could skip the dialogue, then it would go so much quicker, as in if you could speed it along or whatever, right? It would be so much better for all of these, because then you could be like, okay, I've seen this one, next one, next one, next one, and you can rapidly go through choices. The problem is you can't rapidly go through choices when they're going out that slowly. I mean, even reading along, we weren't that much slower than the actual, like, speed of the words, right? In the bits where I was like, I'm not going to read this again, it's the same thing over and over. Like, it was just as quick to read it as to not read it. So, yeah. I don't know, these are odd. I can see why they didn't include them in the original English releases, because they don't quite add as much as you would want them to add. They're so odd. I'm assuming that these are mainly here, though, because they wanted to have the Scriptures of Germanique be something that you could read separately. And then it made sense to have a few other books that you could also read. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like these are fully fleshed out. They're interesting in that they're interesting why they developed them. You can see like them trying some different ideas for how to make a text-based adventure work, but they're missing some of the quality of life that I think really make them work well. So, yeah. Anyway,
I understand.
We've now done them all, which is good. We have some more errands to do. How many more errands do we? We have like, we have a few more errands to do. Not that many. Okay, we could do the errands. I was just seeing how many we had and whether we're going to do them today or not. But let's do the errands. Let's go to the royal city of Lysalia next. Cool. So, tavern,
A warm welcome to
errands,
some gill.
ducal disaster. Calling all brave adventurers, the son of a certain duke, a relation to the king of Ivalice no less, has been abducted by a person or persons unknown and must be rescued. Interested parties should put their names forward forthwith. You will be compensated. Captain Gomez of the Lysalia Guard.
Who'd you have in mind?
Francis Thomasine
How
Clifton.
long will you permit anyone? Understood. Need anything?
Okay, so we want to go 8 days away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. Oh. Cool. And then we want to head back. Wonderful.
Welcome.
In here,
You're interested,
errands, ducal disaster.
An errand's over. Right then. Tell us how it went.
I am happy to report a monumental success. It is an honor to have taken part.
The son of an unnamed duke had been kidnapped, and we worked under the direction of the Lysalian city guard as we assisted with the search. The city guard had conducted a thorough investigation already and had located the hideout of the suspected culprits. We stormed their den and rescued the duke's son, Papal. The kidnappers, 3 in number, expressed strong anti-aristocratic sentiments and said they wished to see the nation's class system abolished.
After all we have achieved, I dare say we will sleep soundly tonight.
I'd consider that a job well done.
Fantastic. Cries in the dark. Night after night, disquieting moans can be heard coming from an old dwelling on the outskirts of town. Please investigate the cause of this unsettling phenomenon. Lasalia
Who's
resident.
How many days? Anyone? Very well.
Right.
Anything else? Thank.
Oh, new errand as well in there. Oh, cool. Let's go with here. And then we're going to go back. Nope. Right.
Welcome. Want to earn some an errands up? Right then. Tell us how it went.
The task ended in great success. Together we toiled that together we might reap the rewards.
We headed to an old house on the outskirts of Lasalia to investigate the cause of some unsettling cries. We began to hear the sounds late that night, which seemed to be emanating from a room on the second floor. Upon entering the room, we found a single doll crying in pitch blackness. The locals told us that the house's former residents had died in a blaze some 10 years past. We all gathered at the house and said prayers for those departed souls. Thereafter, the house was quiet again.
There were times when I feared the worst, but we rose to the challenge.
I'd consider that a job well done.
And then, young Lord Papal. Calling all brave adventurers, the son of a certain duke, the relation of the king of Ivalice, desires a dragon's tooth. Anyone procuring such a tooth will receive a reward from young Lord Papal himself.
Who do you have in mind? How
Let's
long
do it.
will
15
anyone
days.
understand? Anything else? Come.
Right. And then to here. Actually, 15 means I need to go to here. And then back again.
Welcome. Want to earn some an errand? Right then. Tell us how it went.
I am happy to report a monumental success. 'Tis an honor to have taken part.
Enticed by the offer of a reward, we set out to the Glen Peaks and tracked down a dragon. After a fierce battle, we succeeded in slaying the creature. No sooner had we extracted its tooth than we found ourselves ringed by soldiers, the Duke's men. The Duke himself then came to the fore and presented us with a hefty sack of gill, before ordering his men to take the tooth away. I, for one, felt a tinge of pity for the Duke, who, it seemed, must buy his own son's respect.
I feel as though naught is beyond us. Whatever challenges await, we will accept them gladly.
I'd consider that a job well done.
Alright,
Need anything else? Come back.
nothing new there. Let's now use this opportunity to have a look at
What is it?
The amounts that we have. So you can now get that one. Yeah, so you still have a bunch more to get. Wonderful. Not that for you, Thomasine. You can now get well, Holy's probably worth it, right? Yeah, unless I want to get re-raise first. I think re-raise might be better, so let's wait for that. And then Clifton, you're level 7, so you're almost there. Okay. So that's this one. Golund.
Welcome. That's the spirit.
2 things here. Okay. Terrible Cave Mimic. A cave mimic has been taken up residence in the entrance to the Ular mine, trapping a number of miners inside. Please save them. Obim, an Ular mine worker.
Who do you have in mind?
But do you reckon this is one where actually the mine
How
is the
long will
correct
you-
thing to
anyone
send?
Understood.
It would make sense, right? There? I think this might still be right. And it's only one square further along, so it would make sense. Cool.
Good day to you. You're interested then? You've some... Right then. Tell us how it went.
The task resulted in great success. 'Twould seem fortune and competence have paid dividends.
The cave mimic is an unusual predator whose enormous mouth resembles that of a cave. These rare creatures are usually found in natural caverns, but this one had taken up residence at the entrance to the Ular mine, famous for its great tracks of mithril. Word among the miners was that the cave mimic was the ghost of an adamantoise whose remains had recently been discovered in the mine. We defeated the monster regardless and freed the trapped miners, who now had a most horrifying tale to tell.
There were times when I feared the worst, but we rose to the challenge.
I'd consider that a job well done.
And now Twilight Gutsko. Brigands swarm on Mount Casco, and their leader is rumoured to be none other than Twilight Gutsko, a thief with a bounty on his head and wanted for a spat of robberies. These outlaws must be apprehended if travellers are to pass through the mountain safely. Citizens Militia of Galund.
Who you sending? How many days? Anyone? Understood.
Cool.
Will I be come-
Oh, a new errand as well. Okay. And down here. And then back up here. Okay, there we go.
Welcome.
One too few.
That's the spirit. An errand's been... Right then. Tell us how it went.
The task ended in great success. Together we toiled that together we might reap the rewards.
We set out to capture Twilight Gutsko, who, in addition to a string of robberies, was suspected of playing a part in the abduction of a member of the royal family, prompting the crown to place a sizable bounty on his head. We bested him after a lengthy struggle and discovered that he had become the leader of the outlaw band known as the Wyverns. Not only had we apprehended the wanted criminal, we had removed the head of a bandit gang in the process. This prompted celebrant Palsino to make a rare public appearance to commend us for our bravery.
I feel as though naught is beyond us. Whatever challenges await, we will accept them gladly.
I just realised something. Do you think the reason why you can't use a story character in this is because the story characters are all wanted by the church, while your side characters aren't necessarily wanted by the church, so they're able to go out and do normal adventurer tasks, while you aren't? That would make sense for why Ramza isn't allowed to do this.
I'd consider that a job well done.
Miner's Dream. Now that the cave mimic has been exterminated and digging has resumed in the Ular mine, our company is in need of more miners. Applicants must be able to commit to working 12 to 14 consecutive days. This is your chance to strike
Who's
it
going?
rich.
How many days? Anyone? Very well.
Okay.
Will that be that?
There we go. All the way down there. And skip that one. And then back. Nice.
Welcome. Want to earn an errand? Right then. Tell us how it went.
I am happy to report a monumental success. 'Tis an honor to have taken part.
We responded to a call from miners from the company excavating the Ular mine. Only a short amount of time had passed since the incident that had suspended operations, but the mining company was eager to make up for lost time. While we were digging, we encountered a gigantic boulder. With the help of all the miners, we were able to move it. To our delight, the boulder had concealed a vein of valuable ore, which we were able to gather. Perseverance is indeed a virtue.
There were times when I feared the worst, but we rose to the challenge.
I'd consider that a job well done.
Cool.
Need anything else? Come back.
That's everything in Galund. And now we can go in here.
What is it?
You don't have enough because yours is 900. You have enough for re-raise though. It's definitely worth it. And then you are still not a max level. Okay. So that's all errands complete as well on that one. I should check that after we've done that. All errands complete. All errands complete. Yeah, let's go to the next one. So next one is Daughter. Okay.
Welcome. Not a lot happened. Anything
Nothing
else?
in Daughter. And then check it on the list. So we went to there previously. So Daughter, all errands complete. Next one is Zaland. Oh, it was the one right below. Zaland, one not accepted. Go there then.
Good day to you. That's the spirit.
Catadona. I am terribly shy, so much so that I have never even had a real conversation with anyone. Please help me learn how to speak with other people.
Who's going? How many
Okay,
days?
we're sending the
I'll
mime
send-
who doesn't
Will
talk.
that be all? Come back.
Yeah, okay. That's a bit of a weird one. Right. Back down here. And... oh, we got one on every single spot there. I was well off. Okay.
A warm... Want to earn an errand? Right then. Tell us how it went.
The task resulted in great success. 'Twould seem fortune and competence have paid dividends.
Over approximately 10 days we spent with Catadona, a young woman of 9 and 10, we saw improvements in her speaking ability that can only be described as remarkable. Only a few days passed, she entered her debut oratory contest and won. With the eyes of the audience upon her, she had this to say. Until very recently, I was so shy I couldn't even talk to other people, but after being taught the basics of conversation, I'm not afraid anymore. We need but face our fears in life. Watching from the wings, we were overcome with pride.
I feel as though naught is beyond us. Whatever challenges await, we will accept them gladly.
I'd consider that a job well done. Need anything?
Hey, so that should now be Zalin done. Gog done. Ordallia done. What's the other one? Lionel. Lionel 1. Okay. It's cool. So,
Welcome.
Tavern.
It's just anything else I can have.
Erin's
Interested then.
Lionel Emissary. A ship secretly escorting an emissary from Lionel Castle has been set upon by pirates and sunk. It seems the vessel's cargo was very important indeed, as the castle staff are panicked beyond words. I myself smell a money-making opportunity. Benish, an information broker.
Who do you have in mind? How long will you... Anyone... Understood.
Go.
Anything else? Come.
Right. Up to here? I think that's too far, but anyway. Down to here. No, it's exactly right, actually. Cool.
A warm... That's the... An errand... Right then. Tell us how it went.
The task ended in great success. Together we toiled that together we might reap the rewards.
A ship secretly carrying a Lionel emissary was attacked by pirates and sunk in waters not far off the coast. Her cargo was clearly of extraordinary importance, as many other salvagers were already working to raise the ship when we arrived. Luckily, we were the ones to bring her up and quickly performed a search. In one of the passenger cabins, we found a treasure we claimed for ourselves.
There were times when I feared the worst, but we rose to the challenge.
And one more thing. We also came into possession of this unusual item. Pray, look upon it.
Scarab Charm, an iridescent charm crafted in the shape of a beetle, is favoured among the common people as a bringer of good fortune.
A fine treasure you found there. I commend you. I'd consider that a job well done.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's now Lionel, all errands complete. That's what we like to see. Magic City of Garland next. Magic City of Garland. All errands complete. Walled City and Riavanis. Walled City and Riavanis. Riavanis 2. And then I think Walled City had some as well. 2. Okay, so 2 in both of these. Oh, didn't expect you to take that route, but that's okay.
Welcome.
Oh, actually,
Thank you.
before we do this,
Yes.
I am here.
you don't quite have enough. You don't have enough. Oh, and the last one. You're max level mime, so you're not coming along anymore. Cool. I just felt like we should make a max level
Welcome.
mime.
You're interested then?
Enjoyable salvage work. Divers wanted. Dissatisfied with your current income? Want good pay for easy work? We've got just what you need. Have fun working in a cheerful environment. Beginners welcome. Yardrow Salvage Guild.
Who's going?
ASU can
How
go.
many days? Anyone? Very well.
Actually, she might already be max, but whatever.
Will that be all? Come back.
Doesn't matter. I didn't actually check how many days it was, but I think that'll work. Oh, there's a shortcut there now. Well, that's not going to work then, is it? Right. Okay.
Good day to you. That's the spirit. You've some new... Right then. Tell us how it went.
The task ended in great success. Together we toiled that together we might reap the rewards.
We answered the Yardrow Salvage Guild's call for divers. Lured by the guild's claim of good coin for little effort, we quickly found it to be just the opposite. Worked from early morning to late at night for a pittance. But at the very least we learned that when something sounds too good to be true, it oft is.
After all we have achieved, I dare say we will sleep soundly tonight.
I'd consider that a job well done.
Okay. Mining expedition. Have you considered becoming a coal miner? Earn coin for honest work and mayhap discover hidden treasures. Join us and make your dreams come true. Thompson Traders.
Who do you have in mind? How many days? Anyone? Understood. Will that be all? Come.
Right. There. Right, and back again. There we go.
A warm welcome. You're interested then? On errands? Right then. Tell us how it went.
I am happy to report a monumental success. 'Tis an honor to have taken part.
We took part in a mining expedition sponsored by Thompson Traders, a Yardrow outfitter. People from all walks of life joined the crew seeking an authentic mining experience. We had the good fortune to strike a rich vein of adamantite, as well as other valuable minerals. That said, mining is no easy task, but every participant seems to have a fulfilling if exhausting time.
There were times when I feared the worst, but we rose to the challenge.
I'd consider that a job well done.
Okay.
Anything else? Good day to you. You're interested.
Second mining expedition. Have you considered becoming a miner? Earn coin for honest work and mayhap discover hidden treasure. Dig as much or as little as you like.
Who are you sending? How many days? Anyone? Very well. Need anything?
Right. Do this. And back again.
Welcome.
Okay.
Want to earn some on errand? Right then. Tell us how it went.
The task ended in great success. Together we toiled that together we might reap the rewards.
We took part in yet another mining expedition sponsored by Thompson Traders, a Yardrow outfitter. The first trip proved popular, prompting the company to hold a second in only a short period of time. Even more participants attended than the first, and the location was moved to a more challenging mine. One of the younger participants, Gotti, a boy of 9, happened upon a vein of ore that resulted in rich pickings for all.
After all we have achieved, I dare say we will sleep soundly tonight.
We were met with even greater fortune when we discovered this peculiar treasure.
Lance of Longiboon. Many adventurers have lost their lives pursuing this spear, said to be capable of piercing solid stone. Legend holds it once slew a dragon that seized control of the mortal realm.
Fine treasure you found there. I commend you. I'd consider that a job well done. Will that
Okay,
be all? Come back soon.
that's all the errands there. So is that all Yardrow done? Yardrow is done, so now it's just Riovane's castle.
Good day to you. You're interested then?
Historic revolt. Lately, I've been seeing a large number of youngsters digging for something in the mountains outside of town. I wish I knew what they were up to. Could someone look into it for me? Kurach, Crimson Whale Brewmaster.
Who'd you have in mind? How long will you permit anyone use? I'll see to... Anything else?
Okay. Here? Oh. Yeah, I forgot there were 2 routes. There we go.
Welcome. That's the spirit. An errand's been complete. Right then. Tell us how it went.
I am happy to report a monumental success. 'Tis an honor to have taken part.
For 5 days, 30 students of the Riovane's Military Institute had confined themselves to an ancient, half-excavated mountain temple outside of town. It seems this was in protest against harsh corporal punishments received at the hands of their instructors. Though we were able to defuse the situation, a local knightly order then took the matter in hand, purging the old faculty and announcing a new administration. Several educators have since accused the knights of acting in haste.
After all we have achieved, I dare say we will sleep soundly tonight.
Just as it seemed our day could not have gone any better, we chanced upon this exquisite piece.
Zanmato. The indecipherable script engraved into this enchanted blade identifies it as the weapon once used to slay a demon in a single blow. Its great curved blade strikes fear into the hearts of any foe.
Fine treasure you found there. I commend you. I've never met anyone with a better nose for treasure. You've earned the title of Master Treasure Hunter.
Ooh, we did it! Well done us.
I'd consider that a job well done.
It also has no benefit, but anyway. Short-term tutor. Wanted. Private magic tutor for 10 days until my son's examination. Pay based on son's score. Duchess Cupper.
Who'd you have in mind? How long will you... Anyone use... Very well.
12
Will that be all?
days.
Thank you.
There. Nope. Please don't trigger on every single one. Okay. And then back again.
Welcome. You're interested? You've some... Right then. Tell us how it went.
I am happy to report a monumental success. 'Tis an honor to have taken part.
We attended Duchess Cupper's residence to tutor her son Michael, a boy of 1 in 10 in the ways of magic. We were later delighted to learn that Michael not only passed the Garland magic exam, he did so with a perfect score, becoming only the second child in history to do so. Given this fact, even the sizable payment we received seems rather stingy. Michael's smile when he heard the news was a reward worth more than any tens of thousands of gil.
After all we have achieved, I dare say we will sleep soundly tonight.
I'd consider that a job well done. Will that be...
And now we should see all but one... so that's got 1 left in Egros, but everything else should say all errands complete. Yes. Okay, so I believe we have 1 errand left to do. But it is over here at the main story. So we'll need to do that first. Okay, and we can now see if we have a look at errands. Treasure hunter level, master.
Range of endeavors.
So that must mean that the last one in Egros takes you to a wonder, right? Because we haven't got our adventure
Safe
level
travels.
maxed. Interesting. Anyway,
What is it?
we can now grab Thundaga or Daja. Okay, so we got 1 left there. He's gonna stay in that class though, so that's fine. Thomasine. Thomasine. You can't. This one's not castable, so I don't want that. Not castable, not castable. So I just want holy, basically. And then maybe regenerate as well. And then it's time for you to switch back to summoner. Yes, I think so. That would make sense to me. Mage's Cloak gives magic up, right? Yeah. Okay. So this makes sense to me for her to be back in this class. Yeah. And then Francis is going to stay in this class. Although, I have noticed that we could switch him to magic boost here. Which might be better. Yeah, let's do that for now. And then you're not maxed in Dancer, but it doesn't really matter. We were just doing it because we could do it, basically. Right. So that now means that we have 1 place that we need to go on the entire map, and it's the main story, and we're going to do that next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.